Welcome back to another video, guys. MackyOG here, and with the recent trailer release for D.Mon, who's coming in the next season of Overwatch, is it time for Overwatch and the dev team to actually take a look at the earlier past heroes and, revamp their kits? D.Mon is basically just a 10 times better version of Reinhardt. I know all the Rein mains are still gonna mog the hell out of D.Mon when she comes out, but still, I think it's about time we start maybe looking into full-on reworks of previous heroes. Like, look at Juno, for example. Juno, Hazard, Freja, all these characters who've been released in the past, year or two, they've been just, full-on combo characters, meshing together different abilities, making them cooler, just so much stimulation within one character, whereas people like Ana, Reinhardt, they kind of fall short, and they're just stuck being simple, I guess you could say. I know the perk system kind of addressed these issues, that kind of revitalized the combat experience within the game. But, people like Cassidy definitely could, benefit off of this if they actually did rework them. And, me being a Doomfist main, with his whole revival storyline after his fall from the top, the fall off of Talon, maybe he's getting a rework soon, I don't know, with the new arm. Maybe he finally gets put into the support category. That would be actually hilarious if that guy went from a DPS to a tank to a support. But no, like in all honesty, I think they should start looking at addressing these issues within these characters. Now, I'm not saying they don't do that within, the patches, the buffs, the nerfs. But there's so much going on with these new heroes. Look at Sierra, like, dude, she has like the nade, she has the anchor drone, her helix rifle thing that just spreads, it lowers the spread as you continue to shoot. I know it's like not full on, it's like projectiles, so you have to track your shots, but they're very interesting characters. You have the tracking shot as well, let me not forget about that, and then you have the trailblazer for the ultimate. It's a lot going on, and I'm not saying there's not a lot going on with characters like Ryan. I'm really gonna pick on Ryan because that's like the a big point in this video, and he just seems like a good fit for what the point I'm making. That guy holds up a shield and swings his hammer, has fire strike, and can ram into people. He has his charge. Now, saying it out loud, he does have some decent abilities, but like D.Mon has the shield, she has a sword, she has a Gatling gun, she has a dodge, she has an overarching sweep slash that goes through multiple enemies. And then when she dies, she can ult out of her mech, and then she has another Gatling gun. Like, it's kind of crazy. And then she could summon her mech again, just like D.Va, and, semi-nuke the area. Like, that's so much going on. And everyone, all the memes are pointing at Ryan. They're just like, Ryan main's just crying right now, looking at these new tanks getting dropped. Meanwhile, he hasn't gotten an update since, like, 2016, when the game dropped. I mean, obviously it's not true, he's gotten plenty of updates, but the point still stands. I think it's time for Overwatch to maybe start taking a look at all these, different heroes and, what they need to do to, like, address everything, right? Make these heroes just better, in a sense. I guess you could say that. But, like, really, like, what else can they really do in this situation? Right? Like, if you're just, there's gonna be such a huge skill gap in between these characters. Like I mentioned earlier, like Hazard, when he dropped, dude, his trailer was straight up, his gameplay trailer, not his original origin trailer where he becomes Hazard. That was still cool, I'm not gonna lie, but like, his gameplay trailer was literally poking fun at Doomfist, Mei, and I forgot who else, but like, oh, yeah, I think that's really it, but like, he got like a climb. Oh yeah, like the Shamadas, right? He can climb walls, so he has the ability that the Shamadas used to share. Um, he has like a leap. He has a May wall, you know. And he has a guard as well that he can, as you're holding shield, like when Doomfist holds his shield, he does a shield, he can block some damage, and now the perk enhanced it, where you can absorb damage for one of the abilities that you choose. Hazard, when he does it, when he holds block, it like shoots projectiles from his shell, whatever you want to call it, like shards at these anybody who's in close proximity to him. So it's literally poking fun at, hey, these are all the old new characters. I'm gonna combine all their abilities and put them in a new character and make them cooler and better. I mean, it's dope. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not amazing, right? Like, they're revitalizing the gameplay, making these new heroes, increasing the lore, expanding on everything. But should they exist in a sense where they're such outliers now? You know, the original characters that they're getting pulled from, these abilities, like I said, there's going to be a huge skill gap. Like, should Blizzard just focus on the earlier heroes and their kits before merging abilities and making new heroes out of that? Like I said, like Freya. Freya is like a mix between like Cass and Ash and Hanzo, I guess you could say. Like, I had talked about it when she released. Like, she has a crossbow that basically acts like Ash, where you can scope in and do slow shots, which is cool. It's unique in the sense that they stick on the target, but when you don't zoom in, you're just spamming shots, which is the same as Ash. You also have the leap dashes, which are nice, and you also have like the tracking that you have to do. Right, these are track shots, like the projectiles, are not hit scan, which is kind of like Hanzo. And then like her abilities kind of act like the combat roll, where it refreshes her snipe when it zeroes out that cooldown. I know I'm kind of just like giving a broad explanation here, but you know, I think my point's still getting across. Juno, even when Juno dropped, she was kind of like an interesting take where her speed boost was similar to like Lucio's speed boost, right? But her like light speed tunnel is nice. I like it now. Um, you know, she seemed overpowered when she dropped. And the point I'm getting at is they're combining all these abilities and making these super overpowered heroes that enhance the gameplay and just increase so much. There's just so much skill creep within this game. Whereas the heroes that these combo characters that they're making right now, they're not looking at the original heroes that they're pulling these quote unquote kits from, right? Like their abilities, right? They're merging abilities, but they're not looking at the original kits of these heroes like Ryan, like Cass, like Hanzo, and they're not really reworking anyone. At least not to a crazy point where it's pretty much like super noticeable, right? I don't know if I'm using the right words, but I guess my point still stands, right? Like, when is Overwatch and when is the dev team at Blizzard gonna just stop merging abilities in these new characters and take a look at the original heroes, all the earlier heroes, and their kits, and address, you know, their weaknesses? And I'm not saying, you know, make everyone overpowered. Well, could be considered a way to make things balanced, but you know, there's still, you know, take out some weaknesses of people, right? You could give a Ryan super swing hammer, right? You can give him a 360 sweep. If Vendetta can have it, and if D.Mon can have it, why can't Ryan? I think that'd be dope, right? You just do one super swing, a 360 sweep that like brings anyone around you to your like vicinity, right in front of you, and you could put that on like a pretty long cooldown, like 8-9 seconds maybe. I don't know how balanced this thing would be, but like that could set up an earth shatter, right? Just one more ability would be nice for these people, potentially. Like, you could put that in the reload input, because he doesn't have to reload his gun. He doesn't use a gun, he uses a hammer. He doesn't have to reload his weapon. So that's just a thought I had. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Should combo characters exist in Overwatch? And I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm more so getting at the fact that should they be pulling from earlier heroes and their abilities and merging those abilities together to make new heroes out of that, without actually addressing, you know, the previous original kits of these heroes? You know, the main thing I'm getting at is, should Overwatch and dev team at Blizzard just start addressing and reworking old heroes and their kits? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.